Welcome to Jumpstart, the podcast designed for recording artists looking to jumpstart their cities by jumpstarting their careers in the ministry. This is Victor, your music mentor. Join me as I talk to artists, producers, and music professionals about their success, frustrations, and triumphs as it relates to the music industry. If you would like more information about the Jumpstart initiative, visit www.sanctifiedsound.org. Welcome to the podcast. As an artist, I know we've been taught to always think on a global scale. But in this particular instance, I think it's a mistake. Because in remembering that a niche can start very small, your niche must be targeted locally. By working your niche locally first, you can build up a buzz in your area, making it easier to connect with all the influential people in your area, opening up doors to connections with influential people outside of your area on a regional, then national, and then even a global level. Know exactly what your niche is. Remember this, your taste, your inspirations, your emotions, and your world experience all boil down to a totally unique person who will approach music in a unique way. Your sound is not a separate thing. It's not something that you lack. It's not something that you must attain. It's not something external. You already have your sound. And the more detailed and clear of an understanding you have of your niche, the better off you'll be. Like I talked about before, as your niche becomes a more specific section of a bigger market, the more loyal the fans in your particular niche will be. Now, your niche can really be whatever you want it to be, so deciding which niche you fit into best is really up to you. No matter what it is, you need to have an absolute understanding of what that particular niche is. So let me give you a few things to think about so you can better define and locate your niche. One thing that you can look at is your demographic, your age, your gender, location. You can look at other similar influential artists. Remember to start locally, then branch out to the regional, national, and global scale. Where are the influential promotional outlets? Where do the fans exist online? What blogs do they read? How do they find out about new music? Are they into fashion? If so, what brands? What are their favorite hobbies? Okay, now that you have a proper understanding of your niche, you need to seek it out and see if it's a truly worthy one. Some of you will be lucky to decide upon a great one on your first attempt, but sometimes there isn't a demand for your particular niche enough to put you on the map. This is where the adjustment happens. But remember to adjust, but never give up on your niche. You may need to test the waters until you find one that really works for you. And I think it's been said enough times by now, but one more time for good measure. The more specific your niche, the more dedicated the fans of that particular niche will be. Enjoy this week's podcast conversation with recording artist Carlos Vaughn. Welcome to Jumpstart, the podcast designed for recording artists looking to jumpstart their cities by jumpstarting their careers in the ministry. This is Victor, your music mentor, and I'm sitting here with my brother, Carlos Vaughn, the legend, the man, the myth.
Oh, man.
The joy bringer. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, man? What's going on?
Cooling, man.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
How's the family?
Everybody's good, man.
Yeah. So,
good.
man, tell me what's been going on with you?
Man, I'm going to say work, man. You know, working family right now, you know, that's been some balancing, you know, between that and ministry and a lot of things, you know, just adjusting to it.
Yeah.
Basically. That's pretty much it, man.
Man, what's been going on musically? I know you've been tearing up the scene.
Hey, man. I've been in preparation. You know, it's like the mindset I got, you just always stay prepared.
Yeah.
You know, because you never know. There's nothing that you do for God that's old, you know, but I just see the quality in some of the stuff that I've done already, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just feel like it never got to where it was supposed to get to. Primarily because of me.
Yeah.
But you know, things happen, you know, so I believe in waiting on God, man.
Yeah. It's not too late though.
Yeah.
I mean, because the hits you've had for a while with Joy.
Yeah.
Brother, I told you myself, man, you put that thing out, you won't have to work another day in your life. You put that thing out, man. They got a lot of people that it still ministers to. I mean, even just talking and thinking about that song, it literally brings joy to them. I mean, different places I DJ'd at. I mean, they didn't even ask me who were the national artists. They was like, "What's this joint here?" You know what I'm saying? Weddings and stuff like that, man. They not asking for the wobble.
Amen. But that's how you got to think about it, though, man. When you recording a song, and when I recorded that song, I was thinking that. You know, you was thinking worldwide, nationwide.
Yeah.
And anytime any artist or anybody, when you recording, you gotta realize it's not just your voice on there, it's spirit.
Yeah.
You know, man, so whatever you thinking at that time when you doing it, you capturing that moment right there. And you know, and so everything that's on that song, or anybody who do a song, that's what you capturing at that moment right there.
Right.
And so whatever effect is taking on whoever, you know, that hear it, they catching that moment right there. And so everything that's upon that, boom.
I don't know if you ever gotten this question, but you probably have. How did that song, like what?
Man, Be Right did the production on the song. We were G4's Ministries. Man, it was me, him, Impact, you know.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we were all up in there, man, and Be Right had a special going on, man. Maybe like 5 tracks for a certain amount, such, you know, and when he was just playing it, man, he was running through tracks and he played it. I said, man, that's it. And Impact, he was like, oh yeah, man, I want that too. And so Be like, man, first come, first serve. I say, man, I'll be here tomorrow to get that track. And B really gave me he gave me a great deal on those 5 tracks, man. And the other songs, I kind of already had something in mind for them. But Jar, I really had to sit there and write to it, because the track by itself, I was like, man, you know, he really is like, you got all of the instruments like a live band, you know, like SU or the human jukebox in there. So when I heard it, I'm like, the track by itself, I was just honored to compliment it. Yeah. So, man, that's the first thing I heard. Yeah. And really, he helped me with the hook part, because I was just like, Joy in the morning. And he was like, man, you need something where the crowd participation gonna come in. Right. So that J-O-Y, he's like, put that in the back, and you know, so that's complimentary of Be Right. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So tell me what you're working on right now.
But really, I've been doing some writing, man. You know, on some books. But I got a book that I've been working on, man. I actually started on it, but man, it's technology. I learned from that, putting a lot of stuff on that, and you know, it's called Reminded. And so I'm working on that, and I got a couple projects in the making. I got 100 grams of Carlos Vaughn, and that's based from an Instagram page. And you know, so I didn't want people to, you know, I had this concept, you know, I'm just a creative dude, you know, I'm like, okay, it's Instagram, and so, you know, grams, and you know where I come from. Right. But it's all relating to the 100 grams of Carlos Vaughn. It's coinciding with a project that I have coming called Salt. And, you know, that's just a revelation that God gave me about that the album is just going to be called Salt, because it says that we're the salt of the earth. Right. And so, with that whole concept, it's just revolving around, it's like, out of all the seasonings that you would use, if you don't have salt,
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? Man, you can't, it's like this, if you put too much salt into anything, all you taste is salt. Yeah. And so I believe that's how we got to be as the body. We got to be that salt in the earth, because salt is a dominant ingredient. And if you put it in too much of it in anything, that's all you taste is salt. And that's how we gotta be right now. The world ain't salty enough.
I know, right?
Yeah, it ain't salty enough, man. And sometimes being salty means you gotta have an attitude. You know, so the 100 grams is going into the Salt project. And I also have a mixtape that I'm gonna get remastered, Out of My Mind. My main focus, man, has really been on this publishing company I got.
Man, you just got your
the publishing company, bro. I'm excited about that because it's called Mars Code Publishing, And so everything's gonna fall under that. You know, I played around with it with the family because my last name is Mars.
Right.
So it's gonna be Mars Code Publishing, and it's
like Mars, like the
Morse code. So because with the Morse code, it's sending that message, SOS in distress. And
right.
So I like the concept on it. So everything now, even though it's Christ-like music and ministries, everything's gonna be Morse code. You know, from the publishing, the books, or whatever it is, it's gonna fall under that because that was just a focus. Publishing was a main focus that something I really want to get established.
Man, that's good, man. I love to hear when you talk about like what you got going on.
Yeah.
So you always had your hand in stuff swimming around in your head. But this is what I want to ask you though. Mm-hmm. You know how I always say that everyone's definition of success is different. Mm-hmm. You know, depending on, you know, your background, what you have seen before, what you're experiencing now. At this point in your career, what is success to you?
Man, that word career, bro, you said that, man, that just stood out. Like, you know, we make career choices. We want to make them at a young age, you know, even in high school, okay, what my career's going to be. But, man, I would say my success now, and it's really a refocusing taking place right now, because the success will be souls, man. Just not stopping. You know, you look at your career as far as your accomplishments, okay, man, what I've done or what I've achieved. It's a lot of things that I've done on the other side, secular, right. and a lot of people that I looked up to that told me about myself, you know, and I really feel like I have nothing else to prove because this person told me this, you know, and like, man, that meant a whole lot that this person even recognized me.
Yeah.
But, man, I think you have to allow God to establish that, you know, because sometimes in my mind, I look at a way of doing it, going by it. Doc No told me this. He said, man, the way you thinking about doing it is not the way God gonna do it for you, you know, because you've done it a certain way. And you got that path to do it or to get back there, but he's gonna do it a whole nother way. And so, man, with my career, to be honest with you, man, at a point in time, I felt like I wasn't really doing a lot, you know, but when I see somebody come to me, matter of fact, a young lady was in Walmart, man, she may be like 17, 18, she's like, I know you. She said, you rap? It's like, you know, it's like Ministry of Love. So I was younger then, but I remember you, Joy. Just for somebody to remember or have an experience from it, be able to minister to somebody, do what you did.
Yeah. That's deep, man. To know that your heart is legitimately after ministry, after seeing souls changed and everything. What brought you to this point? Talk about your journey from where you got started to where you are now.
Man, that's a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that's a road.
We only have 45
Yeah, but basically, man, you know, I started out doing the rap, started out as a local artist. I came to Baton Rouge, went by the stage name Thug Addict, and put out a single back in the day, man, when it wasn't a whole lot of stuff like you have now. Anybody can do a video and do a song now, man, with social media, but it was all about, you had street teams, and, you know, and it was all about getting your music in this particular club or in somebody's car or something like that. So, man, I made a lot of moves. I actually knew a little bit about the business coming in, but I sacrificed that to be the artist. I knew a lot about producing, but I was doing it backwards because I was from the country, so I had to do it. I had to learn about it the hard way, you know. And when I was introduced to studio, real tracks, I realized I was, you know, with ad-libs and stuff, I was really doing it backwards. And so when I learned the right way to do it, it was really easy for me. But man, I grew up listening to a lot of East Coast artists, you know, Big Daddy Kane, people like that. So I learned a lot as far as lyrics from a lot of them using the bigger words, metaphors, similes, stuff like that, you know, for the punchline. So, you know, man, I did a lot. Basically became a household name. You know, did the southern region, say the bottom of the map. The bottom of the map, you know. But man, you know, that transition happened, I got into a little situation with the system. Then I had the experience of death with my mom, who I really was trying to do all this stuff for. I was like, man, I sacrificed myself as far as the business side. One thing I always was saying is like, man, whether it's the agreement, verbal or whatever, you stick to your contract, know the contract, know this, read this. And, I kind of put it to the side to do the music. And, once all that stuff came, it really moved fast. That's a fast lifestyle. Yeah. And so, man, I was like making 500 to 5,000 in 30 minutes, just doing a show. That was back in, I tell my age and nothing, but back,
back in the gap.
Yeah, back in the gap, compared to now, man. And, but after that, the death of my mom, it was a big wake up call, man, because that was somebody who was there, one of them in prison, Ron Williams and my barber, Neal Barrera. And they both were at that time going to Bethany, man, and they looked out for me. Neal, every time I got in the chair to get my hair cut, he was talking to me about it. Yeah. About God. And I knew, I grew up in the church, but he was like, man, I'm gonna pay for you to go to this retreat. So I ended up going to this men's retreat, man, and after that, it was a big transition, man. As far as the real transition, it happened when I did a year in prison. Because I vowed not to do any of my secular music anymore. Once they took chain and, all the accessories that I used to wear, they took all that, I left that there. Yeah. And I actually, my first album, the gospel album that I did, God's Will, I wrote the majority of those songs in prison.
In prison, wow.
And it was a guy who had a criminal record, a rap sheet probably about 16 pages long, who taught me the word. I was hearing messages. Wow. But this guy was actually showing me, look, man, this is what this means. This is what this means. I was hearing that all my life, but he actually took the time and broke it down to me. Yeah. And one of those first scriptures was James, in the book of James, count it all joy. Yeah. And so, and so, man, I mean, like, that was literally one of the first ones, bro. And so after that, because they got a certain thing called just Jailhouse Religion, where you had this mindset, you're doing it back there, but when you come home, you lose it. Yeah. Because the world waiting on you. But I was one of those guys who said, man, no matter what, when I get home, I'm going to do this album. Yeah. And it was funny, bro, that the guy, Cedric Thomas, they used to call him G.O.G., he recorded my first secular album. Mm-hmm. And I ended up connecting back with him. And the guy who did my first secular album recorded my first gospel album. Wow. The same producer, man. He did some songs on there. And, I worked with Amos a little bit. Yeah. Amos Singleton on some other things, man.
Yeah, he used to talk about you a lot.
Yeah, man. There was a lot of people that helped, man, that helped me out with that project, man. But it was just crazy, bro. You see how God works. I'm like, man, this guy did my first single, hit single. And he's recording my first album. He recorded my first album, really, secular, and recorded my first gospel album. So that was significant. It meant a whole lot to me because I saw it, and so it motivated me a lot. But man, you never slip. I learned when you never slip on the first thing. The first thing God gave you, that first thing. Yeah. Because when you look at it, I can see the sincerity in it. I can see the humbleness in it. Mm-hmm. But man, if I had to go down that road with that's a little brief description of the journey. But man, I had to go into all of the little dark corners and all that. It was a lot of twists and turns.
How did because you were signed to what label? You was running with was it Master P or?
Well, it was this guy Bilo.
That's
yeah. The first record label that I was with when I came to Baton Rouge was Rushmore Drive, and and I didn't understand the aspects of it. As an artist, I'm gonna like this show. I'm gonna get paid, right? But from the business side, the owner was like,
"No, you ain't."
This going back into the company for more product. Yeah. And I just I couldn't see it, and so that was a big thing. And overall, man, they were good people, some family. But God, Bilo was right there. He had the music store in Delmar Village at the time, and so I always go there. And he was talking, and so once that gap came where we had the issues with the first company, he came into the picture. And, so started doing some stuff with that, and it got, about contracts and different things like that. And, but it's funny though, that the whole time, I was never thinking like that. I understood contracts. But I was saying in my mind that you'll never have me. You have this name, you have this artist,
right?
And and when I start seeing the play on a lot of things, man, it's like the contract shifting and jumping, or somebody can do this and do that, and I was like, man, this paperwork stuff is serious, because I used to hold on to songs. I started off writing 70-bar verses. And then, because I was so...
Wait, what?
Yeah, because I was just hungry. All I knew was rap. I didn't know nothing about hooks or none of that. So I was
just writing.
I was just writing. It was really 3-4 songs.
I know, right?
Yeah,
That's your whole album in one song.
Man. So once they got to it and they started breaking it down, man, and I started seeing it, because I used to hold on to them songs because I knew the lyrics were so good. And I didn't want to give them up. And the guy just told me one time, a producer, he was like, man, if you can write one hit, you got more in.
Yeah.
And so when I started giving them up, which a lot of the stuff that I go back and I look at now, which that's secular, but I still look at it lyrics-wise, sound-wise. It's like, man, some good stuff. That was my high school rap. That was the raw stuff.
Right.
And I look at it and I was like, man, I gave it up. And and then somebody else, it's funny. You have to have a relationship and trust, and you really want to know, man, because when you give something up that's yours for someone else to manage it, you got to really trust that person, man. You really know what you're doing when you do it, because even though it's secular and I moved away from it, but sometimes, man, that stuff will come back. I was like, man, that's something that I could have managed better, you know what I'm saying? And it's probably been helping in the process what I'm doing now, you know. And so I look at some of those mistakes that I made, man, and I most definitely want to encourage other people and help other people with a lot of the mistakes that I made.
Speaking of which, though, which is the whole reason behind the Jumpstart initiative, is to help, recording artists get away from the frustration and know that they're not alone in the stuff that they go through.
Right.
What are some of the things that you see artists going through at this point?
Man, even though I do what I do now, gospel music, full gospel rap, I still keep my ears open to a lot of the stuff that's going on, eyes too. And like right now, man, it's so much that's happening. It's so easy to be a so-called celebrity. Anybody can do something now, get on social media, or put a couple songs out. But man, I think that the passion for it, a lot of people, their attention span is just short. Everybody looking for something new. Everybody looking for somebody to follow.
Right.
I would say, man, just be original. You don't want to lose that, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You really don't want to.
That authenticity.
Yeah.
Trying to copy
what's
going on in the industry.
Man, everybody follows. Everybody trying to do what the next person is. Because you got trends and waves that's gonna come. You're gonna either be a trendsetter, or you're gonna follow a trend. And and being different, having something to say.
Right, substance. Yeah.
It's a lot of substance. With the music, I got my sons, man, you try to protect them from stuff, but you're going to hear it. Whether it's at school or whatever, it's on the radio or something like that, and it's like, man, I'm listening to this. I'm like, what is he saying? And he ain't saying nothing. And that's a frustration for me, man, because I would say mad, but upset. Yeah. Because, man, but it's like, okay, Carlos, what you doing about it? What you saying?
Right.
What's your response? And, but main thing, man, is every wave, every trend kind of died down. Some people ride it till it just, ride down, and some just go for a long time, The guy who recorded, told me this, he said, once we discover the kingdom sound, it's going to make the big difference.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, it's because everybody looking for this sound.
Yeah.
You know, I had my partner Jarrell, I call him Z-Man, bro. We had a sound. And when everybody heard that sound, they wanted that sound. They want to go to this producer to get this type of sound.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody wants a sound, and everybody looking for this sound. And so when he said, man, when we discover the kingdom sound, it's gonna change the whole game.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm listening. You know, I'm listening for that. You know, because when you look at it, man, just being honest, everybody wants to mimic somebody else. Or you looking up to somebody else who's already done it. Mm-hmm. And you know, when I got into the gospel rap, my partner, man, he flooded me with pretty much every gospel rap artist that you could think of, from Lecrae to Dashi and K9. And I was listening, I was like,
K9, man.
I said, man, it's a lot. 116 click, and I was like, bro, that's one. But I was as an artist, I'm gonna listen to the lyrics, listen to the content. I'm like, man, that's nice. Listen to it, but I can't listen to it like that, because I'm an artist. Because if I keep listening to it,
you start to become it.
I'm gonna become it, and I'm gonna do something similar to it.
Right.
And so I try to stay away from a lot of stuff like that. You know, I listen. I'm like, because man, as an artist, I'm talking from a rapper's perspective, but as an artist like that, where I come from, when you hear it, it's not trying to be competitive. It's that you want to be good. And you want to, even if somebody teaching you, man, you want to show them that you can be good. I got a guy right now, man. You know, he do secular. He work with some big producers now. But for him to call me and tell me, he said, man, thank you, bro. Because the little recording equipment that I had when I went home, was right across the street from me. And I had people come in. Maybe the DR5 drum machine, man. He come in, he asked me, he said, man, can I make a beat? And I was like, yeah. And now I see him with a studio with all kind of stuff that I know nothing about. Right. And he's like, man, thank you, bro. It's because of you that I'm doing this, because you sat here and took the time to show me how to do this. Right. And it's stuff like that, man, that you know,
but that's what's missing. Just the inspiration from just even people that we can have connections with. I think that's one of the biggest things that's missing, even in the local game, especially around here. And I know it's happening in other cities. Is we are losing our connections with people. You know, when we get so caught up in this what's quote unquote social media, which is in turn not even really making us social. It's making us antisocial. Because I mean, think about it. You go to a restaurant and you sit, and both of you, you at the table with a group of people, and all y'all on the phone together. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that don't make sense. It's like, when do we talk? You know, but artists, that's one thing that's missing, is the one-on-one connection with their fans. You know, with one-on-one connection with other artists, one-on-one connection with, people in the media circuit. You know, man, like how are you dealing with that aspect of, just the game just have changed in that big of a way?
Man, I beat myself up a lot of times, man, because I look at it and I'm like, everybody got videos, man. And I had some major labels tell me, it's like, man, we heard about you a long time ago, but you had no visuals. We only saw one visual on you. But back when I was doing music, it wasn't about that. Like, a video was far-fetched. Right. Now you got camera phone, phones you can do out, and so I was like, man. And it was like, we only saw one visual of you. And it's like, even when an artist back then, it may have been a low-budget video, but it still documented that song in that time frame, and it's like, we don't see nothing. And I was like, so I was at work, man, one day, and the little guy was like, and I'm playing songs on iTunes. He's like, man, pull this guy up on YouTube. So I'm like, hey, he gave me the name. And when I pull it up, it's his video. So I'm like, that's pretty good, bro. You got me. And when I looked at the quality, I was like, it's a pretty good video. And I was like, and when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show you some of my stuff.
Right. Nothing.
I have no video.
God.
Not like that.
Right.
You know, but it's places where I ministered at and did certain things because it wasn't my main focus, because I was like, okay, why would I do a video? That was just my mindset, and maybe I have to break out of it, but I was like, I still think of myself as not worldwide, but a nationwide artist. So I was like, why would I do a video if I don't push this song to the max? You know, it's like, okay, if this is not a single, it's something I'm really promoting.
Right.
It's no different than me recording on my phone.
Exactly.
An everyday thing or something that I'm doing. Or try to make myself big when I don't even believe that this song is big enough to be a hit. But if I believe that it's a hit song, or that it can reach nations, you got to believe that when you recording this, when you doing this, man. My whole thing is like, if you just doing it just to do it, or because you see somebody else doing it, or because you feel you can do it because somebody else doing it, you're doing it for the wrong reason. And I told this guy this at TBN, man. I went there one time and I said, man, what's happening is you have skilled workers. And the word of God says that when you find a man skilled in his work, he'll be placed before kings.
Right.
But you got some of these co-laborers that come along and learn the trade and go off and want to build on their own rather than working on this mansion that's being built.
Yeah.
And on the way here, I was just thinking about you, bro. I'm just being real right now. It's like, man, connect with it. Like, a lot of pride, we got to swallow some pride, man. Because when you find somebody doing something in motion, you get in motion with them, or you push and help them. Same thing when I saw B Right, the video that just came out, man. I told him, I said, B, look, I need a shirt. I said, because once you move, I'm moving with you. Because we got to push that person who moving or making an effort to move to get there.
Right.
And once they get there, okay, man, now you start moving. Yeah. Somebody's going to help push you. But other than that, man, if we don't start doing this stuff collectively, because, man, I was thinking about, I was like, man, I got this thing, I got Christ-like music, and, you know, you proud about everything. But I was like, man, Victor is really doing it. He established in some areas. I need to connect. And out of all the business stuff that I've been learning is that the books that I've been reading and things like this, like, man, if your business is just you, it's no bigger than you.
It's no business. Yeah.
You know, so you got to connect with people, man, a partnership with somebody, man.
Right. But this is the thing, though. Partnership comes in different forms, though.
Yeah.
You know, you could have employees, or you can have, you know, people, associates.
Right.
I always tell people to stop using the word I. You know what I'm saying? Like, even a businessman, just stop using the word I.
Tell them that's a bad word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I mean, you sound immature. You sound like you ain't doing nothing. Wow. But when you start to use the word we, you start attracting greatness. You start attracting other businesses. Yeah. You start attracting a better mindset. Right. And as you grow personally by reading books and reading, you know, looking at, listening to motivational teaching, and, you know, reading more of the word and getting yourself better, your business grows. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because the person you are right now is not the millionaire. Right. You can't take care of no $1 million. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. You have to become that millionaire. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, become that person. Because the thing about it, you can have $1 million, but you can lose $1 million if you don't know how to manage $1 million. So you have to become that person who manages $1 million. I mean, I think we all on the same team. You know what I'm saying? I think we just need to wake up. Hence the word jumpstart. Jumpstart. You know what I'm saying? If it's one dude trying to get out here and jumpstart a city, you know what I'm saying? Jumpstart a community, jumpstart, you know, different cities. You know, you have to get out there and you have to do it and help. But the thing is that the artists have to wake up because of frustration, because of setbacks and stuff like that. And I talk to them all the time. They need to know that they're not alone in the stuff that they deal with. It's the same stuff. But let me ask you this. The process that you use to become the Thug Addict brand, do you think that that's still relevant today?
Yeah, I believe it is, man. Because, man, you got I just believe, honestly, man, you have talents and gifts. And when you got a gift, man, you know, the gift is of no repentance. And, you know, the thing about me, man, I always had something to say. You know, I wanted to make an impact with my words, with what I had to say, man. And, you know, it's crazy, bro. I can remember, man, this lady, bro, where I started when I was like high school, 14 years old. It was a little club, and this lady and them loud, no manners.
Yeah.
But you know, I had the little records back in the day, man, and they have a little instrumental section on the back of the 45 or the album. And she's like, okay, you stay back here with this DJ and don't come out.
Yeah.
Because they heard that I could rap. And so when I did the song, I was like, I'm looking at all these people that's before my time. Rap ain't even in that time frame. And I'm doing a rap to a song that they know from that time frame. And she was like, she used to always tell me, baby, you gonna make it, you gonna do this. And I'm like, she really never had a mind to come in there, but you know, just to hear that, and you know, that kind of let me know something then, because when you got people that's not even in your age bracket, that's don't even say that they don't even listen to rap.
Right. Tell
you this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that was motivation for me, man. And so when I got out here, it was different. I was different. I wasn't doing what everybody else was doing.
Right.
You know, and so it was a lot of elements. There were a lot of different things working against me. First of all, me not being from here. It was just a lot of stuff, you know, and when people see that, you know, it's a lot of things that'll play against you, like, oh man, you can't let nobody out of town will come in and run the town. Right. You know? So but I still have the mindset, man, of being great. It's a difference being good and being great, man. You want to be great at what you do, and you get around people that are great like yourself. Yeah. You know? Anyway. Yeah, you get around people that are great, bro, like yourself, man. But overall, you have to have meaning with what you say, because when you go back and you listen to the stuff that you did years later, you'll be like, what was I really saying? Right. You know? And I look at some of the stuff, a lot of the things I was saying, I was like, man, that's tight. But it's the wrong thing. Right. You know? But it was for that crowd at that time, you know?
So when you you dealt with a lot of frustration even as a Christian artist. Yeah. Yes. What kind of stuff? Like, how did you deal with it? Like, what kind of stuff did you face, and how did you deal with it?
Man, I dealt with, I would say, lack of support. You know, and I got a word today, man, from a guy about being courageous, about having courage. Everybody got somebody with them, you know, where they fellowship, where they represent, and I'm like, I'm by myself all the time. And it almost seemed like, you know, if I went to minister somewhere and somebody did something up-tempo, God was dealing with me, slow it down. Because sometimes you'll try to get in the same zone. Yeah, you know, okay, they up-tempo, so I have to be up-tempo too. Right. But, man, when you just allow the Holy Spirit, man, to guide you, because I did that one time. I was supposed to do joy, man, at this conference, and it was in praise and worship before I got up, and they got up and called my name, and when I got to the mic, man, I couldn't say nothing. Yeah. I just started praying and closed my eyes, and when I looked up, the entire church was at the altar bowed down. Wow. And you know, they were like, there's not too many people that's sensitive to the Holy Spirit, because when you got it set, okay, man, I'm gonna do this, because the music is controlling. I'm talking about, like, you really got power. And people don't understand it. Like, man, you get on that stage, man, and you like, throw your hands up. Yeah. Everybody throwing their hands up in there because you just made a command. Right. Yeah, so it's a lot of power in it, man, but it's a lot of frustration, bro. I beat myself up a whole lot, like, man, I'm not doing enough. You know, one of the real frustrations was not being, you know, not feeling like you were compensated. And I'm saying compensated, bro, because I look at it like, I ask myself, dude, these people really believe that I'm ministering. through what I'm doing, through rap. I'm not just doing songs. If the music turned off, I got something to say to glorify God. And so, man, I look at it like, you know, a person come in, just say a minister come in from out of town, and then, you know, he bring this message, bro, everybody want to hear, and it excite the crowd, and it's like, man, we gotta bless this man of God before he leaves. I want everybody to, you know, just to sow in, you know, and they say this, and then you get up and you do this, and it's the same thing but in a different form. Yeah. And you get this pat on the back. It's like, man, it's a great job. We appreciate you. And man, I said this, man. I don't want my work to feel like a job or a duty. But at the same time, if you see it.
Like the Bible talks about, the workman is worthy of his hire, you know. But do you think that it's because of the artist's lack of knowing business and knowing how to conduct business? Man,
it's, first of all, man, I've been on that business side, man, and I've been on the side. See, that's whereas you got to study and show yourself approved, because, man, you can go by a person's word, and I got an understanding on a lot of things. But at the same time, you got to separate your livelihood from that. You know, just if I were to say, I believe in God, you know, I got faith in God. But if you've given me this, it's no different, man. It's like, don't take what I got and use it to your advantage. If you need somebody to come and repair your building, you might have somebody that's in there that can do it, but if you got somebody to come repair your building and you need it done this certain type of way, you can pay that person for their service. Yeah. Man, I had wrote something down a while back that said service pays. Because you think about it, bro, every person that's serving is getting paid. If you pull up to McDonald's right now, man, that person serving you, you go to a restaurant, that waiter is serving you. Right. And so I was like, am I served?
But see, that's my point. Right. Think about the establishments that you mentioned. Their business is set up for them to get paid. Exactly. This is the problem that I have with a lot of artists, is that they don't set up themselves to receive the compensation that they deserve. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, God gave us the wisdom and gave us the skill and the knowledge to perfect our craft. Right. We have to perfect it on all ends. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you need money, you need finances to help support the ministry. Right. But if you don't set up the avenue, if you don't set up the structure for that to even take place, aren't you doing yourself a disservice?
You are. You're doing yourself a great disservice, man, because you have to get product, you have to, you know, engineer, production, all of this stuff adds up, you know, and even with the artists that's out there doing secular right now, from me knowing it, me doing it, I know. You say, oh, I'm signed with this major label. You're not getting that. Yeah. You're not getting that, what you're saying. Your money is coming from features and shows.
Right. So, particularly tours.
Yeah, and tours. Yeah. So all of the stuff that, you know, you may sell millions of copies or whatever, unless you're doing Beyonce numbers or something like that, you know, but other than that, it's coming from tours and features. That's why so many local artists, or artists who became a household name, you see them all on everybody's songs. Because it's the features that's really paying them. And it gets to a point like that where, man, it's a difference. I can honestly say it's a difference in writing and knowing you're about to get paid and just writing.
And writing, yeah.
I've been in a place, bro, where this guy's like, we did this paperwork. You really about to pay me this amount of money to write this 12 bars?
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how fast you can write a song, man. You know, and it makes sense.
Thank you for listening to Jumpstart, the podcast designed for recording artists looking to jumpstart their cities by jumpstarting their careers and their ministry. This has been Victor, your music mentor. And if you would like more information about the Jumpstart Initiative, visit www.sanctifiedsound.org. Thank you for listening.